Hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I'm going to bring a awesome guest, Eric. He is a attorney and trial attorney who I actually met at a really cool event in Miami. Amazing panelist, and we're going to get some of that energy here on today's episode. I'm assuming because he's just really awesome. Can't wait for you to meet him. And before I bring him on the virtual stage, I'm going to go ahead and play a video for you so you can remember what Care Sandwich is all about. Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care. Welcome back. I'd like to welcome to the stage Eric. Come join me.
Hey, Margarita, how are you?
I'm great. So, Eric, you had me sitting there watching you go through how you work cases, making me think I need to go to law school. I need to put the LSAT that I took to use. Like, forget the CMO stuff. This is fun. So tell our audience who you are, what you do.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me on, Margarita. And she is a marketing boss. She is everything they say. She's that and more. Yeah, I'm a trial lawyer in Miami, Florida. I do personal injury and medical malpractice. And we have cases all through the state of Florida. We have cases all over the country. We get brought in to try cases, and often at the last minute, we have a team of 10 people that work for us, and we enjoy what we do. We enjoy fighting the good fight.
So how did you get into this? Tell us your story. Why did you become an attorney? Why did you choose these practice areas?
Sure. I'll give you the medium version. I was already in law school, and I happened to read a book in law school called The Man to See about Edward Bennett Williams. He was a famous trial attorney in D.C. When D.C. was crazy and kind of like Wild West. And he tried all these huge cases, and he did a really good job. And his stories were just so cool, and the trials he had and the wins and the losses, and it just made you want to be a trial lawyer. And I didn't know what kind of trial lawyer I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be in the arena and fighting that fight. So I started doing my research on what type of practice areas actually went to trial, and I landed on personal injury. But my parents aren't lawyers. I have no uncles who are lawyers. I really had to figure out everything for myself. So I decided to do personal injury, and I asked around, well, how do I get into this field? And some very smart people said, and I don't know if I still agree with this advice, but they told me, go get trained at a big firm. And then when you're ready, switch sides. So I was at that firm, and it was going well, and good people at that firm. And I've always been a hustler. I've always been able to get cases. So things were going well for me. I was getting clients. And then one day I'm going for a run in Coconut Grove. It's a little community in Miami, Florida. And I was run over by a car. And my leg was sticking 180 degrees that way. It was an open fracture. I thought I was dead. It was a hit and run. We never found the guy. And it was bad. I had to teach myself how to walk again. I was in the hospital for 5 or 6 days. It was a bad accident, a bad injury. And when I came out of that and I went back to this defense firm that's defending companies and being paid by insurance companies, what I had been through did not align still with what I was doing. So it really accelerated me to want to switch sides and be a plaintiff's lawyer. So I switched sides. I worked at a good firm, working on big cases. And then eventually I started my own firm, and I just hit my 10-year anniversary 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now you have a very impressive portfolio of cases that you've tried. And I've never seen you in court, but from what I can see of how you speak about cases, you're very passionate, very thorough, very creative in how you research. And this leads me to ask you, many lawyers believe that they have to choose between scaling, maintaining a business, and you've done it for 10 years,
Right.
but then, or being like good at their job. So either you're working in your business or working on your business. You seem to have magically pulled off both. How have you done that?
It was not easy. It is a lot. I
Yeah.
truly have to work like a maniac to do both. But what gets me through it and what drives me to work on the business is that before I had built up my business, when I would go to trial, it would be chaotic when I got back from trial because whether it was me or just one paralegal or two, if the whole firm went to trial and we had to come back and nothing had been done while we were gone, it was too much. And I know enough about psychology and learn lessons that if that was going to be my trial experience, I was going to teach myself not to try cases, and I was not going to allow that to happen. So I made a decision. I need to build a firm that can run if I do go to trial and it's not chaos and I can come back and still everything's okay. And that'll set me up to be a trial lawyer. So when I work on the business, it's with that in mind. Every business move I make to have structure and have size allows me to do what I really want to do, which is be in the courtroom trying cases.
I love that. And without revealing too many of your secrets, what's like one system that has made a difference and that has allowed you to scale this way?
Well, it starts with good people.
Mm.
When I look to hire, I look for smart, they care, and do they want to improve?
Oh my God, that's me.
Because truly, I'm a big fan of if you're getting a little bit better, that compounds greatly, and people who want to get better end up doing great things. That constant striving. So
Yeah.
it starts with that, and then I do business coaching.
Okay.
We have SOPs, which is how we do things. We have KPIs, key performance indicators, which is how you track what's going on. Everyone who gets a KPI, they have to meet them monthly to stay on track and to be in good shape with the firm and in good graces, and people buy into it and they sign off on it and it works out. It's a constant battle. But again, when you have good people, smart people who are looking to improve it works out.
That's amazing. And one thing I learned during my time at Nielsen is what gets measured gets better. And it sounds like you
Exactly.
having KPIs as a part of your business, I would say, is even more valuable than the SOPs at that point, because you're managing goals all the time and you're monitoring all the time and measurable, right? Because opinions come and go, but data doesn't lie.
Right. And the other thing is just when you like what you do, when you like helping people, you're always on because you like it. It doesn't go away. So when I go to dinner with you before an event, we talk, I learn, you learn, and maybe something comes of it, maybe it doesn't, but I don't sit there and just turn my brain off and just talk about the sports on TV that night. I'm always in it. I'm always talking about it because I do enjoy it. I do love it.
Yeah, that's a big one, actually, liking what you do. And now that you're mentioning that, I'm thinking back through law firm owners that I've talked to that have made the choice of, oh, I'm not practicing anymore because I want to focus on running my business. Or, oh, I'm not going to scale right now because I actually enjoy the legal work, right? Where they're like the choice.
Right.
They don't enjoy both aspects. So they set aside or they procrastinate on the one that they don't enjoy. I'm just not realizing this as you're describing that, because I really do think that it's more sustainable to scale and to practice and to do all the things that you want to do when you actually enjoy it. One thing that I've learned is habit stacking. When you're doing something that you don't enjoy and you stack it with something that you do enjoy, That helps you. That helps the medicine go down. I always watch Netflix when I'm folding laundry because I do not enjoy it otherwise. But if I get to watch a Netflix episode, then I'll fold my laundry as an example. So this is great. Thank you for that aha moment.
It's
Eric,
funny
what
you
would
say
you?
that because I do it. I'm going to borrow that habit stacking, but something I've tried before is I try to, if I really don't want to do something, I'll try to gamify it. How can I make
That
it
too.
something I can track and compete at, like it's a game, and then maybe look at it a little differently. So yeah.
Yeah, that too. And actually, I'm a boy mom, and I do that with my boys because not to be stereotypical, I think it's biology. That's a great incentive, like competitiveness, winning, an adventure. I use words. Let's go on a laundry adventure. But yeah, like if you make it fun, if you bring that fun energy, that's so valuable and so simple, you know?
Right.
So if you're a stressed out law firm owner and you're feeling like you do need to make a choice, we've just given you some gold nuggets of how you can actually do both. You don't have to choose. I think this is so valuable, Eric. Now, walk us through now some tips on how you would advise people to get some of these big visible cases, because your case portfolio is very impressive. And you're probably not spending a gazillion dollars on advertising. You have a very simple, from what I can tell, like a very simple strategy that works. Walk us through some of those strategies that have been a win for you to get some of these big cases. Or I'll ask the question another way. Many law firm owners say, I don't want volume, I want value, I want high profile cases. And the philosophy of many marketing agencies, not ours, but many marketing, oh yeah, well, it's volume. You have to get volume to get the lottery ticket, the winning lottery ticket. Right. But you've proven that that's not necessarily the way to go. So how have you done that?
Right. I would say, number one, the willingness to try cases, because in my humble opinion, there are not many lawyers in Florida that truly enjoy it, truly want to do it. They might say they want to do it, but when push comes to shove, they don't. So that's a niche where there are, I don't know, maybe 20 in all of Miami plaintiff personal injury trial attorneys that truly enjoy it and truly want to do it. So right there, you go from 1,000 people who are marketing to 20 who are actually looking to try cases, and cases will find you. But I think the best analogy I can give you is it's from my former mentor, rest in peace, Irvin Gonzalez. He was a very experienced, excellent, top tier, one of the best trial attorneys that ever lived. And what he said is true. When I started off, I was handed bruised apples, and I had to learn to cut out the bruise and make a apple pie out of it, or make a whatever chefs do. You had to deal with the bad and grow it and be creative with it. And now, what he said at the time, and now I'm handed shiny apples that everyone wants. But it's because I did so well with the bruised apples. And that's what we've done. People have trusted us to send a case or two. We've really focused on it, done a good job. They send us the next one. They tell people about us, and it just spreads, and you try to take care of the people. What I always say to anybody, you're my people, and you're always going to be my people, whether this case goes well or doesn't go well, whether you go with me or not, I'm going to look out for you. And when you mean that, it pays off.
Wow, that's deep. Not to get all like spiritual, but like in the Bible, there's like scripture about like the things that you do in secret behind closed doors come to the light. And people always take that to mean like a bad thing, right? Like all the sneaky things you do. But I think what you're describing is the positive side of that. Like that integrity that you have before you're visible, it shows up when you get those big shiny apples, like you call them.
And I have a good example that I got a call from someone years ago, and there was just nothing I could have done for the guy. But I went through everything. I spent the time, and we got to know each other. And I told him, look, you ever need anything, come back to me. Like, I can't help you with this. The laws don't allow us to do anything, but you can always call again. Years go by, 6, 7 years, his daughter calls me in a different state, and her kids were horribly injured. And she said, when I called my dad, he said, you got to call this guy in Miami. He was so nice to me, even though I didn't have a case. Right. Now, I was nice to that guy, not thinking I was ever going to have a case, but it worked out.
Thank you for sharing that, because in my role as a CMO, I see this mentality of focus on the qualified leads, don't waste time. And it's not that I'm advocating spend an hour on the phone with everybody, but like, it is worth creating meaningful connections and staying in touch with people, even if they don't have a qualified case. In our sales program, Connect Convert, we teach, make people feel like hang up the phone feeling glad they called you, even if you didn't sign them up, even if they didn't have and I think that's what you're describing, that, there is ROI in that. Like, don't do it for the ROI, I think is what you're saying. But like, if you do it, like, you have proof that there is ROI. And I can think of another case study with a client of ours who, similar mindset, similar personality. He got a lottery ticket case. And what was cool about this story is the family had already retained, just in haste, another attorney. And then and this was a catastrophic, like, there was a fatality. And they remembered, like, oh my gosh, like, actually this one attorney that I talked to this one time was so kind. It was memorable. And he also had like a social media thing. He loves making videos and connecting with people. And they basically left the other attorney to switch. And he was even like, no, it's okay. You're with a good attorney. You don't have to, and she was like, no, you're the guy. He like literally twisted his arm to like sign up the case. And what's cool about this story is that when he signed up the case, he still didn't realize how big of a case it was. And now it's turned into this. And again, the thread here is, you do the right thing in the moment and you don't stress about the outcome. You just, I think what you're saying is, you just trust because it comes back. And that's wonderful advice that I wish more law firms would apply, and not get so caught up on the volume, the time. Like, we don't know how much, the people that were just discarding because they don't have a qualified case, could add to the firm. But not only that, just the experience of like having been that memorable attorney, that memorable law firm that was kind, that was attentive, that provided value, even with that first phone call. So,
right. And I think just to add, what you said is exactly right. But just to add to it, you got to mean it, right? People can tell when you say, but if you ever need anything, call me, versus like, hey, what happened to you was wrong. And I'm sorry, these laws are this way. And I go to Tallahassee personally to fight against these laws. But as we sit here, there's nothing I can do. That doesn't mean I don't care. That doesn't mean I'm not going to fight for you if something else comes down the pike.
Yeah.
Right. See the difference? The first, they're not going to remember. The second, because you mean it and you are detailed and specific, and I don't want to say sell it, but you mean it, and they can tell, and then they remember.
Yeah. And I think the key, and we teach about this in our sales program, Connect Convert, is presence. So many people overcomplicate it, where they're like, well, I don't know what to say, or what do I say? It's not something you can script beforehand. If you're genuinely present on the phone or a chat, or however you're connecting with a PNC, it does come naturally, because you're human. Like, who doesn't respond emotionally when somebody's hurting if you're fully present? The only reason you don't respond, the only reason you have to fake it and say, I am so sorry to hear that, like with that tone, or it's like obvious you don't mean it, right? Is because you're putting effort into not being present, into creating a barrier, an emotional barrier. Yeah, I could talk about connection and presence for days. And I feel like I've gone way over time. But so I have one fun question for you. But before I ask that, tell us how we can get in touch with you. If somebody's listening to this show and thinking, oh my gosh, I got to refer cases to this guy ASAP. So what's the best way to get in touch with you?
My cell phone, because as a trial attorney, I'm traveling. I'm always on the run, and emails stack up. And look, do I get to my emails? Yes, but call my cell phone, I'm from Pittsburgh. I never changed the number, but it's 724-730-8576. Text me, call me, leave me a voicemail, and we'll get you in the right hands. We'll get you going. And I love chatting. I love people. So just call, we'll chat, and I can talk to you about anything.
That's awesome. Are we the same person? I always tell people email is where messages go to die for me. Like just text me. Like I am also all over the place. My excuse is different. I'm always driving kids to school. Or sports.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So Eric, this has been great. My last and very fun question for you is, because it is called the Care Sandwich Podcast. Hint, hint. What is your favorite sandwich?
Can I throw you a curveball?
Yeah, sure.
I just referenced I'm from Pittsburgh. And there's this Pittsburgh sandwich called a Permane Brothers sandwich.
Okay.
And it's steak, salad, but like coleslaw salad, and then fries. And then it's like smushed and fried a little bit, like grilled. And it's amazing. It's famous. There's actually a couple in Florida because one of the relatives moved down here. Don't make that face, Margarita. You got to try.
You're going to die if you keep eating that, is what I'm thinking.
I'm only, I haven't had one in probably 6 years.
But it's your favorite. Okay.
My favorite. You asked me my favorite. That's it.
Okay. But wait, like, what makes it a sandwich?
Yeah,
I didn't hear bread.
It's bread.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I wasn't following that detail.
Bread, steak, coleslaw, fries.
Got it. Okay. So
Google
like it's
Permane Brothers.
So like the poor man's equivalent is when my kids put potato chips in their bologna sandwich, right? Like, it's the same idea.
Yeah, they should start a restaurant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, they've done a bunch of things we won't talk about. They're entrepreneurs. But I'm like, what did you sell? Anyway, Eric, this has been great, folks. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Great conversation. I really enjoyed this interview, Eric. I'm going to see you backstage. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Care Sandwich. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Margarita.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing.